The air crackled around her, not just with the familiar hum of her own powers, but with a distant, almost forgotten echo. Lorna Dane, codenamed Polaris, had always felt a unique resonance with the Earth's magnetic field, a kinship that transcended simple mutation. But lately, there had been whispers, subtle suggestions of a deeper connection, one that reached back to a figure whose name alone sent shivers down the spine of the world: Magneto. It began not with a dramatic confrontation, but with a cold, clinical revelation. A blood sample, discreetly acquired from Eric Lenscher without his knowledge, had made its way to those curious about Polaris's unusual power signature. The results, when they finally came back, were not just surprising, they were earth-shattering. Paternity confirmed. Lorna Dane, Polaris, was the biological daughter of Magneto. Imagine the weight of that truth. To discover that the man who had waged war against humanity, the mutant extremist, the self-proclaimed master of magnetism, was your father. For Lorna, it was a crucible of identity. Every act of heroism she had committed, every stand she had taken for peace, suddenly felt tainted, scrutinized through the lens of this newfound, terrifying lineage. Her past became a prologue she hadn't known she was writing, her future a canvas complicated by the shadow of Eric Lenscher. Magneto, upon learning of the discovery, did not immediately embrace it with open arms. His world was one of grand ideology, of mutant supremacy forged in the fires of human prejudice. A daughter, a fully grown, powerful daughter, was an unforeseen variable. Yet, beneath the layers of his hardened convictions, a paternal instinct, perhaps long dormant or actively suppressed, began to stir. Their interactions became a delicate, often volatile dance between opposing ideologies and an undeniable bond. Magneto, in his own misguided way, began to view Polaris not just as a powerful mutant, but as his powerful mutant. He saw in her the potential to be a beacon for his cause, a rightful heir to his vision for mutantkind. He would offer her places of power, opportunities to wield her abilities on a grander, more destructive scale, always framed as a path to securing their people's future. But Lorna, despite the magnetic pull of her father's power and his persuasive rhetoric, was fiercely her own woman. She had her own moral compass, shaped by her experiences with the X-Men and her own pursuit of justice. She resisted his attempts to draw her into his brotherhood, often clashing with him not just in terms of ideology, but with the raw power they both commanded. These were not merely battles between hero and villain, they were deeply personal confrontations, fraught with the pain of a daughter rejecting her father's legacy, and a father struggling to understand why his own flesh and blood would not see the truth as he did. Yet, this paternal connection, though often a source of conflict, undeniably influenced Magneto's decisions. When Polaris was in danger, when her life was threatened by human or mutant alike, Magneto's response was often swift, brutal, and unequivocally protective. His desire to shield his offspring, to ensure her survival and her place in the mutant world, sometimes transcended even his most rigid philosophical tenets. He might not always agree with her path, but he would not suffer anyone to harm her. It was a primal urge, a vulnerable thread in the complex tapestry of his being, demonstrating that even a figure as formidable as Magneto could be moved by the simple, powerful instinct to protect his child. This dynamic humanized him in subtle ways. It added layers of complexity to his war, grounding his often abstract extremism in the very real, very personal stakes of a father's love. Polaris was a constant, living reminder that his fight was not just for an abstract concept of mutantkind, but for individuals, for family, for her. And through her, we saw glimpses of the man Eric Lenscher might have been had he not been so utterly consumed by his pain and his vision. Polaris, the daughter, truly redefined Magneto's war. She challenged his methods, questioned his motives, and in her very existence offered a path to a different kind of power, one born of connection, not conquest. Their bond, however fraught, served as a testament to the enduring, complicated, and sometimes contradictory nature of family, even amidst the most epic of struggles. It reminded us that even the most formidable figures are shaped by their personal relationships, and that love, even a misguided, protective love, can be a profound force that both complicates and illuminates their journey. This story of Magneto and Polaris is a powerful reminder that beneath the epic battles and grand ideologies, there are deeply personal narratives unfolding. What do you think this father-daughter dynamic reveals about Magneto? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspectives on how Polaris shaped the master of magnetism.